Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for April 12th through 16th, 2021. Well, we're still reeling from this Aries New Moon that happened last night, yesterday. And wow, what powerful energies. It's like a quickening with all of this Aries. The moon, this whole weekend in Aries, activating the stellium of planets in Aries, Mercury, the Sun, Venus, Chiron. So this is the last week of Aries energy. And so it's really important for us to take advantage of this invitation for life force, this quickening, this claiming of these new energies, this new vibration, our God-given right to life force. And it's being kind of like shown to us. It's also bringing up where we have been programmed to fear this energy and where we've given this power away. So, because right now, today, we have Venus in exact square to Pluto, and this is coming up against all the rules and laws and contracts around power, around feminine power. So, as we allow and move into these energies of awakening and activation, it's going to trigger this programming. Pluto rules our power and fear of our power, like our potential and then what keeps us from using it. So we're looking at overcoming everything that's kept us from this life force energy. Now, what's going on is that also the Sun and Mercury are going to be coming into a square with Pluto. So this whole next week or so of energy. And that's going to be culminating on next week, Monday, a week from this. So from today. So we've got this Sun and Mercury coming together into a conjunction and squaring up with Pluto. So this square with Pluto is going to continue here for this next week and a half or so. And so now with the Sun and Mercury, we're looking at our conceptual reality and our identity, who we think we are. Pluto, the wrecking ball. So it's kind of like, okay, Venus square Pluto is these contracts around our power, our intuition, our feminine gifts, and where we have denied and cut away, so there's a lot of energy coming up of powerful emotions that have been stored in the body. This is what happens when we experience traumatic events. Our tissues hold on to the memory of that energy in our physical body. And it feels like this quickening, this shift we're in right now with this activating energies is with all the Aries, it's affecting the physical body. That Mars square Neptune is starting to come off now in the next couple of days, but we're still feeling it. And that's like a revealing of where we haven't been connected to our life force, where we haven't been alive. One of the things, as somebody who's I've dedicated myself to health over lifetimes, I think it has become clear into helping humans, trying to help come into a place of vitality in the physical body. And it's so sad today to see how people are, for the most part, half dead, not even realizing that they're not even living. We've bought into this very low vibrational experience for the human. And we're so much more. Life should be an ecstatic experience of expansion. Our whole universe, omniverse, galaxies of everything out there is always expanding all the time. You, supernova soul, we have been playing small in order to survive. And that's what all this astrology has been about. And so this square Pluto is like everywhere that you've allowed yourself to be limited, where you've given your power away, where you've given your mind away, where you've given your life force away, your health. It's all the same. It's all just energy. and it's God force, creation force. It's what makes all. And somehow they tricked us into thinking that we need to pay for that shit. So this is the revolution we're in right now, in a hugely activating, energizing time, but at the same time bringing up everywhere where you've compromised that life force, your power, your access to this God consciousness in the past. So huge work that can happen in dropping, we've been just working at our karma and clearing and all these years trying to get this, get it together here. And this week is about just dropping it all the stories that have, of who you're not, so that you can be who you are. Now, this is the whole macrocosm energy too, because we've got this culmination of the Aries energy this week, and then the planets start to move over. Already on Wednesday, Venus is going to move over to Taurus and start us into the Taurus energy. Taurus is an earth sign. It's about, with Black Moon Lilith having been there and all these intense transits for this last couple of months, this energy of Taurus is about a revolution. Uranus there in Taurus. So all these planets are going to come into conjunction with Uranus, and a really powerful activation of building the earth, like finding the ground under our feet. But it's not the old ground. It's new energetic structures, and we're literally building a new world. You are building a new world, building a new reality every time you allow yourself to rearrange and work with your energy. Our energy is more real than reality. It's more real than the physical world. So our new world, which is everything right now, with Saturn and Aquarius, we're talking about trying to build in this new paradigm. And now coming into these earth signs, that's saying after this huge Black Moon Lilith Taurus experience this year, this is our revolution of wealth, our revolution of worth. And so it's you coming into that power, finding that permission for that power, which is your wealth. Everything wrong about you, all the reasons why this place has been so difficult for you, you haven't skated along like the people around you, somehow just living their life so easily. That's because you are different. You have prior experiences before you came to Earth evolution. And those experiences are about to pay off huge. The time that we're in is a time of harvest, where what has been sown will be reaped, right? So it's been a really hard time for supernova souls, because you've been clearing so much karma, and to the point where I know supernova souls go through this point of like, how did I accumulate so much karma, and what did I do to deserve this? Like, how many aren't, and that's not actually what's going on. You're in a rapid karmic cleansing because you are an advanced soul, and you chose to stay connected to your soul essence. Everything, especially the jab that everybody's so excited to get, not even thinking through with any logic the fact that it's more dangerous than the disease itself. Nobody's thinking through this. Untested. There's no liability in the companies. It's more damaging, more deaths than the actual virus itself. Why can't we just think through logically? Why can't we question what we're being fed? Why are people having like a Pavlov's dog response to this energy of like, oh, well, I'm so excited. I got to go get my, and it's like, oh, well, it makes you feel really sick. I want it. I want it. Oh, you still have to wear a mask. It's okay. Just give it to me. And it's just like, oh gosh. So, everything is about the whole agenda of the control energies is about disconnecting us. And this is the final frontier here, as we move into the absolute frightening concepts that are being enacted right now very quickly of the AI agenda. And the AI agenda is simply put to disconnect us from our soul essence, disconnect us from God, disconnect us from that life force. We have an immune system, and this is our power. And they don't want us to know that we even have that. And so many people just willing to give it all away. No questions asked. This is the mind control. But we're at this place where the house of cards and the lies upon lies upon lies just can't continue anymore. And we're in this point where we're stuck until truth comes out in a way. So much is happening so fast. Don't miss this quickening of energy. But at the same time, it's like we're in this holding pattern, waiting for something. You can feel it. Like, what are we doing? What is even going on? Are we even, are we in a simulation or something? Because like that ever expanding universe is not, people are feeling more and more trapped. This is the lower matrix in its last death grip, making sure that you can't access these higher frequency vibrations, except for that's who you are and why you've gone through everything you've gone through. And you have everything you need inside of you to do what you're here to do right now, and it's time. So this Taurus energy is about this revolution of wealth, which is how we build our new world. It's an energetic, but the Taurus energy and the earth energy of this next season is kind of like, okay, we got to find the ground under our feet. It's different ground. It's plasma. It's not solid, but we're establishing in this new energy and building in the new energy. You don't even know you're doing it, but you're building energetic structures just by existing and getting through this time. You're doing amazing work. So keep it up and keep breathing and keep affirming that precious God conscious life force that you're aware of inside of you every moment. Claim this back, affirm and reaffirm your natural organic state by being present with nature. When you're present with nature, you are absorbing life force energy, you're affirming it, and you're making it more real in your own body. And I've been talking about, the vital force is growing. We're having this quickening. And what happens then when you trigger the vital force of an organism through the appropriate homeopathic remedy, the vital force strengthens and throws off the disease. But that typically comes with a healing crisis, right? So we're just on the edge right now in society, in this world right now, of like suppression. We're still suppressed. Truth has not come out. And yet so many people in the world know the truth. And so it's like when you suppress the organism and sickness again and again, this would be like, say your body is having a skin rash. It's trying to release something. The skin is an eliminatory organ. But when you put, say, a cortisone cream on it, you're pushing that disease back in the body. You're actually saying to the body, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear you. How many of us just don't feel heard, or you can't even say anything logical right now? You can't even talk about anything, question anything. Suppress, suppress, suppress. But you can only do that so much because the organism is designed to survive. And that life force is so incredibly powerful. It is the force that creates worlds. And eventually it's going to build that power and throw off. But that's the healing crisis. That's when you're going to have a whole bunch of symptoms. Because, and that's kind of where we're at. We're like in this like suppression. It's like, oh, a little bit more truth kind of floats to the surface. Push it down, censorship, 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 silencing. This North Node in Gemini and Mars activation has been, it's about, we've got to claim back truth and voice. Again, we got to talk about the word. The word is this life force that creates all. And it's just such a dynamic time because, again, we have these squares, the sun and Mercury. First, Mercury comes into a square with Pluto and then the sun, but we're already feeling the sun come into this square. And so it's kind of a lot after this whole Venus square Pluto and Mars square Neptune, but it's like We've got to break down everything that's keeping us from our own power, our own life force, with these planets in Aries in square to Pluto and Capricorn. Breaking down the structures, right? So the structures of our body of ill health need to be broken down so that health and the garden, flourishing, building the organism up. And this is actually what's happening right now, even though it feels really weird, it feels really lost, it feels really empty, and uh, just this strange soup feeling, right? But it's like strengthening and the quickening and the growth. You cannot keep the growth from happening. The life force, you cannot. You can disconnect a soul from it, but you cannot stop this life force. Nothing can stop it. And the corrective force of the universe, that God force, is coming back into our life in a more palpable way. The divine timeline is landing like a meteor on the planet Earth. And the energetic way is being made, and that's the team you're on. You're the energetic way. You're like, hey, I'm going to experiment with building in these other structures, build my life in a new foundation that's an energetic foundation that's so much more stable than physical. And what this is doing is, with this Taurus energy coming up, it's like using the wealth that we have, our newfound ancient wealth that we're uncovering, in this wealth revolution, and using that to build new energetic structures that can catch humanity and you in the new reality. This astrology is these squares with Pluto. It's like end of the old reality. And now we've got to start building something new. But it's this beautiful picture of like, can you let the cloud catch you? Can you take that leap and know that it's okay to not feel the ground under your feet as we build these new structures? And the exciting energy here is you are here to co-create, work together in groups to build these structures. We're just getting started in this chapter. We're going to be finding each other, getting together, and it's so exciting to be a part of these projects. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. The shifts in the world right now, it feels uncomfortable, but it's actually going to make you more comfortable. The energies increasing are better suited to you. You've squeezed yourself into this lower 3D reality. And it's like, do you feel it? It's like, get me out of here, get me out of the monkey suit. And so the new energies, the new higher vibrational frequencies and their spiritual ascension is better suited to who you are. You already have been in these higher energies. You're way more comfortable there. You were not made to be put into this little confining reality. And that's what's happening. You're busting out. And so we're going from the breakdown. So this is like this next week is like Aries explosion, breakdown, square Pluto, Mercury. Now Mercury and the sun come together. They're coming closer together. And they then squaring Pluto at the same time, pretty much just within a few days of each other. So they're going to cross over. They're going to square Pluto and then cross over into Taurus together, which is really powerful because Venus and the sun passed over into Aries together. And Venus leading the way into Taurus, her home sign. Venus loves Taurus. She can rest there and receive and feel worthy. And these are these next steps, like the way we build in the new reality and find the ground under our feet is by recognizing, appreciating, growing, and expanding our true spiritual wealth. And are we waiting around for somebody to recognize that, or like this world to recognize it? Because that's not going to happen right now, at least. It's like you have to recognize your wealth. You have to hold that sacred. You have to uncover that. But that soul spiritual wealth of everything you built, we talked about how The sun and Mercury coming together square Pluto is about these constructs, breaking down the false personality constructs from the past. Each lifetime we get a new story, a new role, a new, kind of thing we're doing, playing out. But what you take with you through lifetimes is your soul gifts, your soul essence, your talents and skills. Those are of God. When you're creating and expressing these gifts inside of you, you're co-creating with God. You are making creation smile. Isn't that what we should be doing here? It's like drop everything and start living. It's up to you. It's up to us. Claim back our reality, our world, build a new reality every day, but it has everything to do. You cannot build it without accessing your soul spiritual wealth and owning it and supporting it and nurturing it and caring for it. Aries is the seed that is the spark of creation. It's like life force and the first and the starting and the impetus for life and that spark of creation energy. Taurus is the plant filling itself out, like with all the nutrients and the support and the structure it needs to come into form. And it's interesting because with Uranus and Taurus, we're having a revolution of form, a revolution of physical. We're literally, and it's uncomfortable when you move into higher frequency vibrations because you're going to find that fear programming. You don't know who you are. Nobody around you can validate these experiences, but it's happening. And at first it feels uncomfortable and weird and alone. But what's happening is that you are, you're going to get more and more comfortable there. And let this cloud catch you of your own wealth. Because it's almost like, yes, we want this life force energy back. But if we don't feel worthy of it and we're not going to execute it into creation and build with it, then what's the point? Great. There it is. And this is the definition of humanity, and life itself is the fight to live, to expand, always growing. And it's interesting because haven't you kind of felt like you don't fit in because you actually are interested in growing? You've stuck to your guns. You've done it. You've done your spiritual work. You are here for spiritual growth. You've devoted and dedicated yourself to this. And that's like something weird and strange and, goes against the grain. But it's everything. Spiritual growth, life force, expansion, co-creation. When you're doing this and you're in that life force energy and you're co-creating and expressing, all of your problems go away. They're like this big, because you're on fire. So grab a hold of this energy and entertain this concept of building new energetic structures that can catch humanity, right? You're just demonstrating, hey, I chose free fall and look, I'm here and it's okay. And guess what? I'm glowing and I'm thriving. And you guys go line up and get your death vax, right? Go ahead and become zombie robots. But this shit is going to live now and thrive because that's our only choice. We can't do it half-assed anymore. And this is the vital force of the organism. This is this revelatory time we're in right now of all this energy getting stirred up and that vital force getting strengthened to the point where that, boom, throwing off the disease. In that throwing off of the disease, you have symptoms. That's the revealing. And we got to get there. We can feel that we've got to there's something under the surface that isn't right, isn't shown to us, lots of things, right? But it's got to come to the surface. The sea monster is rising because the seas are boiling with this vibrational energy that you are brave enough to entertain, experiment with, and make that leap into a completely new way of living. And it's weird because your life looks the same, kind of, right? And the people and everything, it's like there, but it feels different. And when we can allow ourselves more and more to be in that reality, this more true reality, this truly living vibrational reality that can catch us and catch humanity. So you guys, it's okay. We're built for this. Stop the fear mongering. We are built for this, right? And so you are building these energetic structures that are gonna catch you, hold you, support you in your expansion and your growth, your building, and support humanity in making this leap as well. And it does feel like big changes are indeed imminent. We can't go on the way we are, and it's getting really uncomfortable for those who know. And there's so many who know now. And it's just, when do we turn the ship around? And when do we have a manifest reality that actually matches the energetic truth of what's going on? And that's who you are. That's what you're here to do. And it's not easy, but that's living in your truth. Your truth is this more spiritual truth. And it's finally making sense why you went through all you've gone through. Because you got this. Nobody can take it from you. And it's only going to get stronger for you. And beautiful days lie ahead. Because think of it, you can feel this power trying to awaken within you. You're starting to get a sense of what I'm talking about with this bigger self landing, right? These new energies, this different way of being. And think of all the supernova souls and advanced souls on the planet just popping into their power. I mean, lights turning on. And you're a part of this. You are on the cutting edge of reality, on the front of time. What are you going to do with it? So hang in there. We're in super dynamic times with these. What's happening next week, though, is this is powerful energy, because we have that Mercury, Sun, square Pluto. Then they move over into Taurus together. But we also have the planets all coming in to a line at 26 degrees. So Pluto's at 26 degrees Capricorn. And until this Venus square Pluto, we haven't had a lot of Pluto energy since all those planets left Capricorn, and we're revisiting it, kind of being like, okay, what did we miss? There's some ropes and chains holding back this ship, the ark, from taking off. What are those ropes and chains? What are those contracts? Where did you give away your power, your precious, precious spiritual connection to life force? And so we're cutting away all of that. And then that move of Mercury and the Sun into Taurus is this recognition of true wealth. And maybe that's the world shifting into a place where it can receive this true wealth. As you've already been doing this work. You're doing so good. Just hang in there, keep breathing, keep expanding. And but when these planets, so this will be, Pluto is at 26 Capricorn, Jupiter coming up to 26, it's at 25 right now, 26 degrees Aquarius, and then Mercury will be at 26 Aries, Mars at 26 Gemini. So what this happens is a lining up in the sky, and a star pattern. So it creates a whole bunch. All of the planets are interacting in some angle with both Pluto and Jupiter. So Pluto breaking down the old structures, Jupiter trying to expand into the new age. So we once again have this mystical, magical combination, the star pattern in the sky, which when I see that in a birth charts, it speaks to activation, that you came here for your full expression or light body. And that's what this astrology is saying. It's when the planets line up like this. Now 26 degrees, what's going on with that? It's quite a thing to have, Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto and Mercury all at 26 degrees, and 26, 2 and 6 makes 8. And 8 is the number of Scorpio Scorpio, it's a number of transformation. It's a number of revealing what's been hidden, but this big energy of transformation. And so the star pattern is saying transforming into your light body, into your higher dimensional self, into your bigger spiritual self. You came here for this. It's more natural. It's more normal. It feels better. When are you going to give yourself permission? When are we going to feel worthy enough for our own true experience of living? Or are we going to keep pretending we're living while we walk around and become artificially intelligent, programmed zombies? And so here we are. And but again, we're having the squares of Mercury, Pluto, still feeling Venus, Mercury, Sun, square Pluto, but then we're having those sweet energies like Mars in trine to Jupiter. And we're going to feel that through the next week or two. And Venus is just coming off tomorrow. We'll still feel this, but the sextile with Jupiter, and then how all these planets are coming into a relationship on some level with Pluto. And it's, again, this perfect storm of combination of tension transits and magical key transits. Like, what's going on is that, all the planets are interacting with Pluto in Capricorn and Jupiter in Aquarius, and they're exactly one sign apart. This is a semi-sextile, so one sign over, and it's like good buddies. We can do this together. We can hold hands and figure this out, and it's very powerful because it's expanding into that new age and breaking down everything that's in the way, which is our fear of our own power. And is that the core energy? Why would we have ever given away our access to this life force energy unless we were programmed to fear it? Because this is what I find reading after reading of past life readings. And it's just like, oh, well, you made this contractual arrangement because you said, oh, I can't handle my own power. You were manipulated into the destructive things with your power. And then you took the blame. Supernova souls, advanced souls, you've been holding the blame for the control energies this whole time. You are innocent. You came here as a fully evolved soul with a purified astral body. And it's time to stand up and be that child of God and stand in the light and be true and take off all of those layers of shame. It's kind of like we've had intense astrology the whole 2021 and 2020 as well. And now it's like how it's all culminating. And what I see is like taking off all the monkey suits, all the old stories, all the robe, all the clothes you've worn that represent who you were trying to be for humanity and your family and everybody else, right? And you're going to put on your robe of glory now. And I'm just getting this thing of like the light body, Merkaba, all that has been deliberately all teachings are a little distorted. If you're going to get truth, you're going to get some untruth, and you're not going to get the whole picture and some distortion, right? But what I'm getting is this light body, Merkaba, is what we're all doing. It's what Yeshua was teaching us, this transfiguration, this overcoming the physical, and we're all doing it. And advanced souls, the message I've gotten, you already know how to do this. You've already done it before. You're fully equipped. And it's not complicated like they want us to think. You don't have to go through all this breathing and exercises and all that crap. It happens organically, and this is what they've been trying to stop this whole time. 6 feet apart, so we don't activate each other. And this is exactly what I've been shown was the witch burnings, the persecution. It was finding these people who were on the edge of spiritual activation and getting rid of them so that they couldn't activate the people around them. And guess what? That was you. That was you, supernova souls. Now that energy's already changed on the planet, that you have full permission and support to go into your light body, to go supernova, which is exactly in alignment with that co-creation, life force, your superpowers, your abundance, your spiritual abundance that made your life so hard and you made you so wrong, but it's actually so right and so beautiful. And are you ready to start shining that light? So this is what's happening. We don't even have to know any certain techniques or anything. We just have to be open to the idea of this transition we're going through. Rudolf Steiner talked about how this time, the future and our time we're in, we're turning our bodies, our physical body and the earth into light. I think that's this whole, what everything that all the stories throughout time are really about this. And this is also the harvest of your wealth on a soul level and everything you've gone through paying off and reaping what's been sown. You know, you've been reaping some heavy duty karma where this whole manipulation power thing, played out. And now it's time to reap the rewards of all the spiritual work you've done and come back into that innocence and that purity and that profound power that you have by being a soul aware of itself in a physical body as God consciousness. You cannot be aware and so the fact that you can watch and be an observer of the things in your life means those things in your life are not who you are. You're separate from that. God can't be separate. You can't. This is interesting, right? Because they're trying to separate us from God consciousness. But God in itself is one. It's everything, all of us. Everything manifests and unmanifest. So this is the death of our separate self, the death of the illusion of separation. And I can feel it and I'm seeing evidence of it. I've been talking about it. As you land this bigger spiritual self, you feel more whole and complete. You just start to feel better. You can function, you can operate. This is going to be good for you. You got this. We got this. We're doing it. So hang in there. Super dynamic astrology again. Just don't miss a moment. In these super dynamic times with all these beautiful transits, Mercury will be coming into sextile. So this star pattern in the sky will put Mercury in the middle in sextile with Jupiter and Mars. And so really sweet energy of possibilities and expanding. And it's time to reap what's been sown and harvest the wealth of your heart and start to really live and enjoy. And then this Taurus energy is saying, yeah, but do you deserve it? Are you good enough? It's like, wait a minute. How can you deserve or not deserve your own spiritual gifts? Nobody can take them from you. And you've gone to a point, if you're awake to this bullshit masking and vaxing, then you've already gone through that level of mind control before and you made it through. It might be hard right now to affirm and reaffirm your soul essence, and your truth and your health and your vital force. But it's like you made it. You made it through the matrix. You did not lose connection to your soul. That's what's made it so hard for you. Don't you sometimes just want to go to sleep and wish you didn't know what you knew, but you can't. You made it. Nobody can steal your soul ever again. It can only be stronger. And you owning that is like a beacon of light for humanity, being like, you guys, there's another way to do this. So strange times where it just feels like we're on the verge of a great revealing of that sea monster, those symptoms coming up, the healing crisis, but we'll see. Who knows? So hang in there, and we're in this powerful, it takes a couple of days to come out of the new moon energies. It's a dark moon. It's a restart. It's kind of a confusing time a lot of times, especially with that Mars square Neptune. So in a couple days, it'll become more clear what this quickening is about. And then it's really about making that shift, starting to build new energetic structures, can hold you and catch you and celebrate you. Isn't it time for you to arrive in your life? So hang in there. I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.